minute and 10 seconds to go. Most of the fleet, as Bucko said, all up here with us. They're all pretty early if they wanted to start up here. Got a whole minute to burn. The whole fleet still looking... Oh, that was a nice long siren. That's the I flag kicks in, and now the whole fleet have got a hold position. Certainly it's what we see 49ers doing all the time, and it's a lot harder to do an 80-foot skiff. 3 people, big wings, all that aero drag above, trying to keep the whole thing in balance. We're just seeing who's got the skills at the moment. Of course, this time next week we'll be doing race 2 of the JJ, and the fleet will be plus another 6 boats. Jimmy, how many are we expecting for the JJ? Another 5 or 6?
I think 6. I know there's definitely 3 Kiwis, I believe.
More to come. 30 seconds left to get to across this line. A lot of good hovering skills going on up at this end of the line. A winning group make it pretty clear that just off the left of your picture, they want the committee boat. They're hovering just outside the committee boat. There's going to be space for them. It looks like everybody else is going to put their little bows down, and winning group will create a nice little hole up here with just 10 seconds to go. Down the other end of the line, Shaw and Partners going hard and fast. Bird and Bear going fast. URM going fast. Oh, we might have a bit of premature starting, but winning group definitely not over. With speed at the committee boat, clear air. 2 guns so far, just the 2. Any thoughts on who was over there, Jimmy? Did you give a good line of sight?
URM and Bird and Bear was my pick of the ones that were over, but we'll check with the committee as soon as we can. There's Bird and Bear going back as we speak.
Wow. So the breeze, wow, amazing, isn't it? URM I thought was okay, Jimmy, but may not have been.
Down the left and looking at that great drone shot, you can see the whole fleet beautifully lined up there. There's Royal Oak down at the hard left end. Look up at the right end if you can pick out the boat at the very top of the picture. That's winning group.
Shaw and Partners going back.
Shaw and Partners going back. That's not great for their overalls, Mark, with them in contention to win the the club championship.
That you're absolutely right. That's a great shame for them, and they're going to be a long way behind this fleet. But it's a long course. It's a big heroic course up and down the harbour. Also, an awful lot of reaching and issues. Anything can happen on this course, so there is time to come back. But for now, very early doors. The first beat. It does look like we're left phase here, Bucko. And winning group won the right end of the line, but I got a feeling they won the wrong end of the line, if you know what I mean.
I think URM leads, in fact, from Tech 2.
Bergman, this is Camera Cat.
And we'll see what happens out of the hard left, isn't it? Tech 2 on your screen, you'll just see middle left, just going a cruising boat just going across them, which isn't going to help them too much. Hopefully they'll find a hole through that. But Tech 2 are going to be the first boat out of the left-hand side. Smeg in decent shape downhill. Del Zotto putting in a nice performance. Ilve 2. I think Appliances Online look too far left, so it's really Tech 2 are your best left-hand boat. As Bucko said, URM seem to own the middle, and winning group hovering out in the hard right. But it's all going to be about what happens as they come out of this left-hand corner and see who can make the crosses and who can't.
What's going
on? Ilve deciding to go back.
Late
what are
call?
they doing?
Late call? Penalty turn, maybe? I don't know. Pedro?
Not quite sure what they are doing. It's certainly not a general recall. It's super late to go back for a...
Mark, I just spoke with Doug, the starter. He confirmed Bird and Bear and Shaw and Partners. They're just not sure on URM. They're just having a review of that. And
so nothing about Ilve, though?
No.
So that's just a crew error, made a mistake. Back into the race course here. The first critical cross is not far away. Tech 2 now tack off the shoreline. That's as close as you can get to Bradley's. That's Bucko where you wanted to be. They're coming out of the left. I think they might have to duck Del Zotto here. Oh, they can't know Del Zotto's tack for them, so Tech 2 are coming out of the left. In the meantime, URM have decided to not wait until the cross. They've gone early. URM and Royal Oak have both tacked. Winning group crossed them.
So URM a little duck on winning group.
Yeah, so basically winning group. URM very close, probably Bucko, but Tech 2 best out of the left. And at the moment, Tech 2 look like they're clear across the winning group, so very early stages, but Tech 2 lead out of the left. Winning group ending up at about 5th or 6th for anyone who's following them. That was the best boat out of the left initially. And Smeg in decent shape with them as well. But first round the top mark for the first time with the Bearaway. Very nicely done. Nice helpful puff to get him out of there. There is Tech 2. And second around is going to be Royal Oak. Great performance from Dave O'Connor, newly back into the fleet, back on the wood, and that's a great performance. Oh, a little bit of pressure on the Bearaway there, Bucko.
Yeah, not enough bang off. And
no.
Is that Zach's first one?
Two stabs at it, but they got away with it. And then it's Marcus Ashley Jones. He'll be pretty happy with that. Had a great second race last week in the fresher stuff. Today with the big rig, looking very competitive all over again. We know that he's premature, but not by that much, so we'll just count him as a racer for now, I think. That's the best way to describe him. And then it was Noakes, and then it's Smeg. There is winning group 6th in the end, having been best of the left-hand boats. Finport maybe not firing on all cylinders as yet, but very early days. And then it's Del Zotto, followed by, you can see on screen now, Kitchen Maker, Plances, and Rag and Famish. And then John winning on Yandu, and the boats that started early and went back, Bird and Bear and Ilve, who mistakenly went back, they are a long, long way. And Shaw and Partners, they got a lot of ground to make up.
So guys, a jib reach down the harbour, and at some stage they will set a chute to get down to the Market Obelisk. And if you remember, Mark, there was a race earlier in the year where the Tech 2 boys gave the fleet a good lesson here to delay the set until they could go to the mark with only one set and one drop.
Look, here we split decision. What do you do? It's always hard with this race. Sean Langman, the birthday boy, and Finport are the only two who've gone with early spinnakers. Everyone else is 2 wiring for now. And Finport's got winning group just to leeward of them, just off picture right now to our left. An interesting luffing match between winning group and Finport. Finport have a kite up, winning group don't. Winning group using their rights, perfectly entitled to do that. I think you'll find winning group now will go with a kite. And we're seeing URM and Roll Oak, they're all having a crack with a spinnaker, but our leader, Tech 2, he just managed to get away with a bit of extra pressure, no kite. Tech 2 looking pretty tidy.
No, and he's going to do a number on them here, I would predict. He's got enough pressure to get the bow down to the leeward shore without a chute, and the guys behind didn't get quite as much wind, and they've sort of more or less had to set. But I think looking where we are with Smeg's going to hang in there and wait and wait and wait until they think they can lay into the mark with just one hoist.
Smeg just following right down the line. You might see Tech 2 in the distance. She's a long way ahead already. She's the little dot just ahead into leeward of Smeg, just to the left-hand side of your shot. So Tech 2 is our leader. She's extended her lead significantly. Got a puff at the right time. But it's not just luck. There's a whole world of technique, isn't there? This is possibly one of the hardest things to do to skiff. Bucko, you'd have had a few hours doing this two-cell reaching. It's not an easy skill, is it?
No, that it's sort of... It's one of those things where the apparent wind moves more than you could possibly imagine. You know, the skiffs go about wind speed, and we've got a puff here now, 12, 14 knots. The skiff's probably going a little faster than that, maybe 16. And when the wind goes down to 8, the apparent wind goes forward at a speed that you can barely contemplate. And the bowman's got to pull the jib in and run in a bit, if there's not enough wind. And the CN's got a lot of main speed to come in, and then obviously the reverse in the puff. But what we see is Tech 2 optimised the first puff they got beautifully to get away from the land on the windward edge of the track, and they will travel all the way to George's Head, I think, main and jib.
And interestingly enough, our top 3 right now are all boats without spinnakers. Tech 2 in first, Smeg in second, winning group on camera right now. In the end, winning group didn't put her kite up. She had that little luff match with Finport. These are the 3 that have not used spinnakers, and they are in 1, 2, and 3. So the whole big sails win big races thing is not always true. Sometimes the smarter course is hold with a kite. Just looking at the angle there, the mark is to the left. They've definitely got 2 jives. It's going to be 2 jives in quick succession. Bit of a boat handling test coming up for them
Here
now.
they go for one.
But Jimmy, you've been watching these guys all season. Boat handling's been pretty tidy, isn't it?
Have a look at that.
A pick of crew, isn't it? Like Charlie and Trent and Jack. And when I was speaking to Jack on Thursday, he's actually really enjoying being back in the 18s this time.
Enjoying winning.
He's just enjoying sailing the 18. He's absolutely loving it. You know, he had a lot of pressure on his shoulders last couple of years with other projects, and this year, you know, he's just been able to forget all that and just enjoy this. And he's, you know, I think the results are showing that. So, you know, and the other good thing too, Tech 2 is the race day sponsor today, so if they can go on with this, they'll make the ferry very happy.
That'll be a nice little finish for that. No, finish to the pre-JJ phase.
We should post a warning here. Don't try this at home, kids, okay?
Yeah, that was quite a hard manoeuvre done quite smoothly, wasn't it?
Look at that.
Could have gone wrong there. There's our leader, Mark 2, Tech 2, showing everyone else how it's done. And as we pan back up, you'll get a sense of just how far behind the fleet is. That, in skiff racing, is a massive, massive lead to be at Mark 2. We're normally used to boats all going around overlapped. But Smeg are making a great fist of this. Smeg are going to be clear in second. And it looks like Noakes will be clear in third, and then we got a gaggle of boats behind. Roll Oak, Rag, Winning Group, Finport. They're all going to go around pretty much overlap. Let's see how this develops. So the boat number 2, Smeg, they've got a hard boat handling manoeuvre coming here as well. Let's see how they handle this. Pete Harris on the front will try and make this look casual, but This is hard work. Nick Alain's got to keep that wing out of the water if he can. He wants to keep the pressure coming on. Keep the boat rolling, and there they go round. Smeg, nice job. They get round in clear second.
Mark, there's a bit of extra safety there in having the wing in the water sometimes, just hitting the water, yeah?
I just wonder whether he really wanted it. I don't know. Maybe. I just feel in that amount of breeze, maybe.
Big knot on the floor on Smeg.
We've got a knot in the halyard, my friends, and a little squall coming over the eastern side here. A bit more rain and a bit more puff. And we didn't perhaps see it too well on film, but...
So here you go, winning group. Now, this is what we're used to seeing with skiffs, all going around basically at the same time. Nice rounding from winning, a little bit wide, but they got the kite down neatly. Nice work from those guys, followed by Royal Oak, followed by Finport. Now it's just a gaggle of skiffs, all overlapped. No big rule issues so far. And at the moment, boat handling, Bucko, what would you give the fleet as a general score so far?
That's pretty good. That's an 8 out of 10.
Good, didn't it? Did look good. Tidy.
Yeah.
10 knots of breeze, 12 knots, not too much wind.
Just have a look up wind.
Oh, a bit of carbon crunch between URM and Appliances Online.
Oh, just as we said that, there is the crash. Unfortunately, there's a
Hearing
very
more
bad
banging and snapping.
carbon. Luckily, the boat builder's involved, so they'll be able to fix whatever is getting broken right now. But did you see that happen, Jimmy? I was just looking at wind at the time.
URM just came around and just poked straight into the back of them.
Just came around with too much pace into the back of a slow-moving
Yeah, I
Appliances
think so.
Online. Yeah, well, you have a chance. If you're watching the recorded version, you might want to go back and see exactly how that happened. I didn't actually have eyes on it, so...
I think Marcus was just trying to do the wider entry and get inside Appliances Online, and just a few little waves there and whatever has just made it not happen for him. And unfortunately, the amount of carbon we heard banging, someone's probably not going to be finishing a race.
Yeah, maybe two boats. So they are making the mark a very wide thing to go round. There's two skiffs off the buoy, so that's about 40 foot away for the rounding of Kitchen Maker. And here we have Birkenhead Point Marina, Ilve, and then it's Noakes Blue, and then finally Shaw and Partners, one of our, remember, early starters, had to go back at the start. That's why they are so far back. But look at the carnage down here. We have two skiffs in the water. Basically, there's no space in between the two. Shaw and Partners trying to go through the gap. Don't go through there, lads. Oh, is there a space? There is a gap between Shaw and Partners.
Wow.
Threading the needle. That is, have they got away with that? They have.
That was next level.
That was a very fine call. That looked like a suicide move.
Oh, high risk manoeuvre, isn't it?
Don't try that one at home either, kids.
Yeah, adding to the excitement of the day with that little manoeuvre, but back up at the racing end. Well, there's more breeze up here, and I think, Bucko, you're seeing a bit of a shift up here, aren't you?
Yeah, just a little more left-hand turn from under this rain cloud, and I think the rich will get richer here,
So very busy, as you can see with your own eyeballs on the harbour. It won't be like this for the JJ. This is an particularly busy Sunday afternoon, and we are caught up going much the same direction as this large fleet of keel boats just through sheer bad luck, of course influenced by the wind direction. All race committees are got the same issues in their minds, but this just adds even more complexity for our 80-foot skiff sailors. And if you're looking on screen and saying what on earth's going on here, there seem to be boats getting in their way left, right and centre, well, you're correct. That is Sydney Harbour Racing. It's part of the gig, Jimmy, isn't it? But it's unusually busy today. I mean, this is one of the most hectic race courses I've seen for a long time.
Well, it's just very compressed. There's not many other places they can run a Windward Leeward for the Sydney Harbour Regatta to get their leg length in for these guys. Everyone just converges on the one spot at the one time.
It's all the same place, basically, aren't they?
Yeah.
That is for sure. So we're right in off, just around the corner from Nilsson. This is Smeg tacking in front of us, so you can see how light it is. We're down to probably only 6-7 knots in the light stuff, and then up to 8 and 9 as they get the boat rolling, but they're struggling to find double-digit wind speeds. And off to the right of your picture, you might just see Tech 2. You see that grey sail with a red stripe right-hand side of your camera shot? There is Tech 2. At this point in time, just depends on the shift. Either boat could actually cross either boat, depending on, do we get left shift, do we get right shift?
No.
Is the pressure up or down? Bucko, how do you think this is going to play out?
I think Smeg's made a further going here.
Does look like it. She's pointing at Shark Island, and at the moment it looks to me like there's very little between our two leading skiffs. Maybe Tech 2 slightly ahead, but she's in a lot less breeze.
It's going to be close.
It's a boat race. It's a proper boat race. That 45-second lead story, well, that was all history, no more. They are leading too, and Sean Langman in Noakes Red is right in this as well. He's caught up significantly too, so he's joining these first two. He'll be off the back of them, but he'll be in the same vicinity. behind him, Rag and Famish still looking competitive. Finport trying to get into this lead group, but struggling slightly. And Winning Group also trying, but just not quite in the mix.
Now Tech 2 just going through the dirty air off the 2 keelboats there, got round the back of them successfully, so that means they will lead still, I think.
It could yet be, not quite yet. It's not quite a port starboard, Smeg of course starboard rights, but can they actually does say that Tech 2 are dialing down. This could be a port starboard issue now. Jack McCartney's got to get, is he across?
Yeah, he's across.
He is, but not by much.
The Smeg think they're on the lay there, so they've tacked.
So that's okay. I think Smeg's going to be short, so, and Jack McCartney and the guys on Tech 2 just going to just drive to the mark now and enjoy the puff they're just about to get. So they did a good job there. Got untangled from the keelboat fleet, Mark, which isn't that easy, as you would have seen.
I agree. I think both crews did it. Hard for Tech 2 to keep their heads with all that pressure on, and hard for Smeg to do what they did, close into Tech 2 and find a way through all that. Great job by both crews. So they will be our first and second. And in terms of the rest of the fleet, well, Sean Langman, who is on a long port ley line approach, he's looking in good shape, but he too has been caught up by Rag and Famish, who took the Shark Island route, and I think Winning Group as well have also taken the Shark Island group. I think those two are going to be in third and fourth, with Sean Langman in that mix, but Rag and Famish currently looking like they're going to cross Winning Group. You just see there on camera, there is Winning Group, and quite clearly Rag and Famish are across them, so that's a place change. Sean Langman drops one, and Winning Group are out, just off your picture right now. They also have come out of the Shark Island side as well. So around the first mark for the first time, you would have seen they're off camera now. Tech 2 still lead. Just a few seconds behind is Smeg, and then a gap of about 45 seconds, maybe 50 seconds. And next in will be Rag and Famish, followed by Noakes Red, and then it looks like Winning Group have sniggled their way up into this leading pack. No collisions, Andrew Buckland. Thank heavens, with all these cruiser races.
Oh no, the fleets are pretty well organised, you know. Like, everybody knows it's a primary importance not to crash boats into each other, and you know, the guys get used to racing in the crowd here a bit, and so usually it doesn't work out too badly. But there's still plenty of dirty air to share around, you know. Look at these guys coming in here, cracked sheets from what was a fine ley line for the other guys. Breeze turned left a bit for the second half of the fleet, the peloton at least.
And the other interesting thing to note is Shaw and Partners on the other side of Shark Island. Looks like they might be heading home. And Tech 2 currently are doing enough to hold off Royal Oak Double Bay for the championship here at the moment. Got 5 boats between them. That's all they need.
Yeah, Royal Oak hasn't had their best day, have they? But entirely new crew, more or less, so...
Yeah.
So Winning Group went round 5th in the end, round our first mark, so good beat from them. Long beat.
Jimmy Shaw and Partners coming to the ley line from the other side. How about that?
Yeah, that was
unusual, isn't it?
It's super unusual. We'll just see them just off the right-hand side of the left-hand side of the shot. That's the boat coming towards us. They're going to have an interesting mark rounding. You're going to do a 180-degree turn. There's the Bird and Bear, nice and close to us. It's Tommy Clout back on the Bird and Bear, sailing with Cameron McDonald. We've seen him sail. He might be the person that sailed the most different skiffs. What do you reckon, Jimmy?
He definitely has throughout the
I
years.
think I've seen him on every boat.
So all these guys, medium range BMG run, and Bird and Bear about to get the better of Rag and Famish here.
Yeah, young Zach Barnabas in the middle, just trimming the kite. Bird and Bear just trying to roll over the top. Looks like they might have a lane to do it, bit of pressure to do it. And down to leeward of those two, just off your shot right now, is Rag and Famish, who struggling a bit for pressure. I think they're going to get their bow up and try and join those other two. A bit more wind up to windward at the moment. But it's definitely VMG run, isn't it? Our leaders, Tech 2 and Smeg, have now split. Smeg has jibed away. Tech 2 actually looks like she's extended, isn't she? She's offered the distance on port jibe. I think Tech 2 stayed the same jibe. Jimmy, did you see that? Same jibe all the way down here?
Yeah, they've been on the same jibe the whole way down. The bow just keeps going down and down and down. Everyone else is lifting, so that's a massive
fell off
gain.
The back of that, I think. Fell off the back of that
they
puff.
just didn't get it.
Didn't get it. She's had to jibe away, and Tech 2 has re-established another really big lead.
Smeg now struggling to lay, and more wind coming, so it'll be advantage to Noakes here.
So off the distance, you just see Tech 2, top of your picture, going round the mark for the bottom mark for the first time. That's our leader, Tech 2. And second is looking, with the current shift, is looking like it's going to be Sean Langman on Noakes. Third is going to be Smeg, closely followed by Winning Group, who are bang on ley line. Winning Group doing really nicely down this run. And that ferry that Jimmy mentioned will be passing behind Winning Group, but ahead of Bird and Bear will be an issue for Bird and Bear. Bird and Bear and Rag and Famished and Finport are the next three behind. We'll just stay down here and get the mark rounding to see how it all pans out. But Tech 2 looking a little bit ugly, Jimmy, right now. Is that just the void of the ferry?
Yeah, the vortex behind the Captain Cook cruise. So, you can see it should be almost out of it now.
This will be good from Big Pete.
Breathe it in, Big Pete. You've got it.
The boy to the left of your picture, that little orange dot, they're going to have to be a big left-hand turn, both these boats. And coming up fast behind them is Winning Group, pretty much bang on ley line. You're about to see Winning Group in your photo. There she is, top of your picture with a white kite. Second round the mark, Sean Langman. Great run by Sean. He was in fourth or fifth, I think it was, at the last top mark. Fabulous downwind for Sean. He'll be really excited by that. Sean Langman, Noakes Red, goes round in second. And there goes Smeg, dropped one place back to third, but not a terrible disaster. Plenty of racetrack for Smeg to come back through again. Winning Group, they'll be pleased with that as well. A great run from them. They are right up close and personal with Smeg. They go round in fourth place. And then a bit of a gap caused a little bit by the ferry and caused, I think, by that last puff bucko as well.
No, amazing, isn't it, to see the snakes and ladders that occurred on that leg.
So Tech 2 on screen right now is your leader. She's just re-established about a 40-second-ish, maybe 45-second lead. In second position, the boat on screen now, Sean Langman. Putting in a great performance today.
Yeah, I mean, Mark, I'd want to sail a boat with red paint and 260 kilos. How's that?
Definitely red paint. Red seems to be the colour of the day, colour du jour. And in third position is Smeg, another red boat, guess what? And in fourth position is Winning Group. And those four, like we saw at the bottom, Mark, have got established a pretty big gap back to the next boats, which are still the same ones, still Rag and Famish, Royal Oak in that next group, and Bird and Bear as well.
So we're travelling here with Noakes in second, and they're making a pretty good fist of it. Tech 2 on the ley line of the Windward Mark, so I think Tech 2 will lead here by 1 minute.
Yeah, I think you're right. She's picked the last couple of shifts rather nicely. It's hard to see anyone other than this top four being in the podium. They thought that this top four have really stretched away, but Tech 2, as you said, have really stretched from everyone else. Back to that 45-second buffer that they've had on two separate occasions in this race, and it might be a lot more than 45 seconds. It's looking big right now. Round they go. Top mark for the second time. Race leader and today's sponsor.
Straight to a shoot.
Tech 2.
So they're thinking the breeze has gone back to the right a little locally, which it has.
So the opposite. Last time they were up here, they were the last boat to hoist their kite. They didn't hoist it till they were almost down at the bottom mark. This time they go for it immediately.
That less wind, Mark, on average, yeah?
Well, they get out of this corner, don't they? It's a little bit quiet. Breeze is generally down, less breeze than there was last time they were up here. So that in itself is half a reason to put the kite up.
So full weight, fully sheeted in, as if the MG running, but prepared to drop a bit of main sheet in the stronger puffs. But Noakes Group in a puff, but the breeze back in the right, so pretty amazing. Another 10 degrees of right makes a big difference.
Yeah, huge difference. And the next
Big
round is going to be Smeg that we're looking at right now up here in Double Bay. Lovely gust for them. Almost the best breeze they've had all day. Coincides with the rounding. They'll be happy with that. Fast two-sail bearaway. They're looking like they want to spinnaker up as well.
Yep. Because the breeze fully 20 degrees right, in fact.
Yeah, we're in a puff right here, right now on the camera cap. We've got a really nice little puff. This is a 12 knotter and maybe even 13. But this is the best breeze we've had for a long time. So third place, Smeg. Fourth place, there goes Winning Group. A good beat from them. They're keeping close enough to the three ahead of them. They could yet be on the podium. So no pressure on Jack, but...
No, none at all. Oh, listen, they're all very experienced campaigners, and, it's not as if pressure, they thrive on pressure. That doesn't get to them at all.
No, and this is what they've done it for. This is why Jack's back in the fleet with a new boat, with a new rig, and he's got a great crew, the crew he wanted. He's getting a bit of help from David Witt on not just so much rig stuff, but I think just in somebody independent to talk to after races about how things went. So a nice coaching role from Woody. And I think the reason they're doing this is they only do it because they want to win. That they see themselves as contenders. Quite right too.
Yeah, so Woody is tuning in as we speak. We just got told by Chits. So
Well,
Hey,
they'll be
Woody,
happy with this.
how are you?
wherever
Happy
you are.
birthday for the other day.
Oh yeah, over in Hong Kong. Hope the situation is manageable over there. I know you've got your particular set of challenges there, but hopefully this skiff racing with Tech 2, your team leading, bring a small smile to your face.
Beautiful.
And also gives him that separation away from those yachts, Bucko,
Yeah.
which would disturb them. Like, come in a bit hot, you got a fair enough lead. They'll be just enjoying this.
Troops, just watch this drop. You'll see the sheet hand's got the windward spinnaker sheet. Oh no, not on this boat, okay. But it's incredible. They do that 100 times and only have one failure per 100, so pretty amazing. And nicely round the front of every keel boat, and the keel boat, you know, by 2 boat lengths, so nicely judged.
That played out well, didn't it? So our leader goes round the bottom mark for the last time, Tech 2. In with a nice, comfortable lead. We'll get a stopwatch, Jimmy. I think hopefully going to get a stopwatch roughly on this
Yep.
delta. And boat number 2 is going to be Noakes Marine.
Bucko's got a new Mickey Mouse, mate, that he can read.
Great. Second round, Noakes Marine, who has closed up, as we said.
But,
Tech 2 had to-
Mark, have a look. He's entangled in the keel boat.
He's got a horrible rounding to do. He's got to get on the inside of some of these guys. It's ugly for Noakes Marine, that's for sure. You can just see his spinnaker. Oh, there you go. Better shot there. You can see the spinnaker now in between 2 large keel boats. He is a keel boat sandwich right now. He is the thing in the middle. And this is tricky for Sean. It's not what he's signed up for when anything for skiff racing, but it's what you get on the harbour.
He's just got to take his chute down and be patient, and that's exactly what he's
got
doing.
to let the guy to windward go through, isn't he? Otherwise, he's got a massive chicane.
Yep.
I think he's going to work out okay.
Into the riders' screen winning group coming, well, just the last screen winning group coming in hot.
And in the end, it's allowed winning group, who were a long, long way back, and Smeg to close right up to this.
Yep.
So the beneficiary out of all that was really winning group and Smeg. Sean took his medicine there, nothing else he could do.
1 minute lead. 1 minute lead there.
Yeah, a bit over a minute, really. A minute and
Yep.
a little bit.
That's a big, big lead in the skiff races, and you can see off in the distance there's Tech 2, hasn't tacked yet, still on starboard tack, heading off to the other side of the harbour, looking for all the extra pressure. I think they'll be tacking fairly soon. So in second place, Sean Langman, getting the wrong side of the cruisers, but keeping cool and not letting any drama affect his position. And he got caught up, but not overtaken by Smeg in third place. In fourth place, winning group, they'll be pleased with that. Next back is going to be Rag and Famish, who steadfastly hang on to that 5th place. And Finport will be in 6th, who've got ahead of Royal Oak, who will be in 7th place. There's the spectator boat just off the bow. And there's Sean Langman's boat just in the background of that shot you're seeing. There is the difference between them.
So the last bend of the day, hard left, breeze 6 or 7 knots.
Yeah, it's light, isn't it?
Goodness gracious.
We're going to get all 3 leading boats in one shot. Nice work by the camera crew. And that shows they are closer than they were before. Tech 2 did have a lead of a minute and a half, maybe even more at one point. It has closed
over
up.
2 minutes, Mark. It was
Over 2
minutes.
Jimmy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Robertson.
Looked every penny of that, didn't it, when they went down, when they were the full, they were the Horizon job, and that's where they were. But Tech 2 do enough, keep it together. Our winner of the race on March the 8th here in Sydney Harbour, the last race before the JJ, Tech 2, brilliant performance in challenging conditions. Jack and his crew will be extremely pleased with that performance. So Jack sailing with Charlie White and Trent Barnabas, they win today's race, and Sean Langman, who's really returning to form just when it matters most. Any surprises from you, Jimmy, with how he's risen to the challenge today?
No, not at all. Like, I spoke to him this morning. He was calm, cool, collected, you know, like, as he always is. But, I think everyone's now as good as you can possibly get for the JJs. And I think for the varying conditions, we're seeing the right people that we think are going to be in like the light areas. We know Noakes are going to be in the mix there because they're a lighter crew, as Bucko was just explaining before. The guys on Tech 2, they're at that optimal weight that I think, as Bucko was saying, winning group on their day, they're at their optimal weight. So Smeg, so there's a lot of guys are definitely in the mix, that's for sure. So there's Noakes just finishing in second, which is a great result for Sean on his birthday.
And next boat across the line on camera now, there's winning group. I'd say, I don't know, how many points out of 10 for them, Bucko? Decent performance,
Yeah,
not
decent,
a bad end
decent.
result.
No, decent, good effort. I
So-
mean, change of crew always a problem, and they've been hanging in there. So good effort. Smeg, good effort also. Regular crew, but at the heavy end of the spectrum, and that probably a bit tough for them today.
Fourth place definitely a counter come the JJ. Everett will be happy with anything in that top 5, I think.
Yeah, the fight for the front 4 is a tough one, you know. And
It is.
as he saw today, the guys that got back in the peloton stayed in the peloton, didn't they?
Yeah, too hard, and I think Finport been a good example of that. Didn't come off the start line in the kind of shape they want to, and it's been a bit of a battle all day long. They've done a decent job of never dropping off the back of this next group, but Smeg crossed the line in 4th position. The next 2 boats back are going to be Finport and Rag and Famish. They're about another minute and a half sailing until they get to this line. We're just going to remind everyone that the JJ points races start on Saturday, but the actual invitation race, the practice race, if you like, starts on Friday. And we will
Mark, in Australia, called the invitation race.
Invitation race, mate. We'll be covering that race in full. So you will get interviews from the boat park, and you'll get live action from the camera cat, from the drone, and all our cameras on the Friday. And the race starts on Friday the same as every other day. That's 2:45. So we look forward to you joining us if you can live, and if you can't, then you'll have plenty of chance to watch the various recorded versions. And just coming across the line now.
A good bit here, the Finport burgling well up the last part of the beat.
That's a full little steal, isn't it? They went hard into the island, didn't they? Yeah. The right shift won in the end?
I think so.
Or is it going to win? Look, we're on the line. Nice position by Jimmy. We are right on the line. You try and call this at home. Who's going to win it?
Finport's on starboard.
It's the shift. It's the shift. Throw the bow in.
No, the rag just got it.
Nice positioning for the camera here. There you go.
Jimmy, we don't have to pick the mark up, mate.
Not picking the mark up. I'm just checking to make sure Dougie filled it up properly.
That's the camera cat. We are parked just off the other end of the line, just touching the buoy, getting up close and personal with it. So at the end, it was Rag and Famish, and then it was Finport, and then there's a big old gap. But the next boats, were we to stay here and watch them, which we're not, because I think we've all watched enough racing for today. We have a lot coming our way. It is then Royal Oak with Dave O'Connor, and then we've got the Bird and Bear, and we have Shaw and Partners. But for today, thank you for staying with us and watching this race. Hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've seen something interesting. We've all learned a bit about the JJ, haven't we, Jimmy? We've got a lot of races coming our way, so we'll probably wrap up today's transmission. Thank you to our media crew, John O'Witty for flying the drone, the 2 Chittendens for making sure that we're watching the right picture at the right time. And thank you very much, Bucko, for telling us what exactly has been going on behind the scenes. But from the camera cat, my name's Mark Healy. Great fun being with you today.